Okay, so we're going to practice isometric drawing by drawing 4 different versions of that build off of the cube that you have just done. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my isometric paper, and I'll use these arrows to divide it up into 4 quadrants to give me 4 different spaces to work. And you'll notice this time I'm going to use a ruler, which makes it a little bit easier to make high quality drawings. So here I have my 4 areas. So the first example I'm going to give you is we're just considering making rectangular prisms. So instead of a cube, I'm going to make a small rectangular prism. I'll start out by creating my construction points, and this is just going to be a 2x4 prism, 2x4x2. So 2 inches wide, 4 inches high, and 2 inches deep. So, and actually it's not inches. In this case, we're just talking about blocks, and we'll get into units later on in the course. 1, 2, 3, 4. That can just come over, and you'll start to see the faces take shape. So it's 4 high, 2 wide, and 2 deep. So now I have my construction points. I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to create my construction lines this time. Nice light lines. I will do all my vertical lines at the same time to make it a little bit easier. And then I will do all of my angled lines. And one of the keys that you need to remember is keep your pencil tip nice and sharp. It just makes the drawings come out that much better. And this again is called the box method. You'll hear that sometimes when creating a box around an object that you want to draw that's a little bit more complex, and you'll see it in other assignments. Okay, and then I'll go my construction lines this way. Go just slightly past the construction points. And construction lines are light, so just remember that. Construction lines are light. And here we go. Now for my object lines, I'm just going to do it the same way I did it before. I have nice crisp lines already. And this time I'm just going to go from the construction point, darken it up, moving straight up, straight up, straight up. And pressing down with a little bit of force to get a nice crisp dark line. Again, like we said earlier, you can take your time, and if you make a mistake, you can take your ruler and cover up any area that you would like to keep, and then erase next to the ruler any area that you would like to get rid of. So for instance, if your line just goes a little too far, or it goes off of one of the lines that you're trying to draw, you can always use an eraser and a ruler to isolate different parts of your drawing to erase. Here we go. That back line's a little ugly. I might have to go back and fix that. But for now, I've got the width is 2, the depth is 2, and the height is 4. And there's my box. Now it's time to add your tonal shading, so that if the light source were coming in from the top and pointing down this way, you would see that the light would make the top of this box lighter than the side and the bottom of the front here. So I'm going to start my hatch lines like this and keep them nice and close together towards the bottom. And then as I get closer to the top where the light source would be, I will allow it to get a little bit brighter. And you can spend time with this to make it look as realistic and as sharp and as high quality as you want. Do this on 2 sides at least here. Play with it to see what gives you the best results. And that front side, it looks like I kind of have a hard edge there, so I'm going to try to eliminate that a little bit. And then over here, do the same thing. Make it nice and light at the top. And then darker at the bottom to add my tonal shading. And you'll notice that I'm moving pretty quick. But the more you practice this, the better you will get, and your images will look even more realistic. So go ahead and create your 4 examples here, add tonal shading, and we're always going to put our names somewhere on the drawing, and it usually will say drawn by somebody, and then I'll put the date on this as well. You always want to put the date on your work so that people know when, and specifically your teachers know when you created it. And by signing this, I'm actually signing that I created this. It's another way to ensure my intellectual property is mine. It's not plagiarized. I didn't take it from anybody else. And that way nobody else can take my picture either. Your job is to go ahead and create 3 more examples that illustrate how to create an isometric drawing, but they need to be different dimensions. All right, so go ahead, get to work, email your teacher, or reach out to your teacher if you have any questions.